Right. Right. For question 3.4, let's see what's going on there. What are they asking us? What do they want? Let's see. I didn't give you this one for homework, right? I did. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm doing my job, guys. Required. Another required. What are they saying? When this vehicle was sold on 31 March 2009, was a profit or loss made on the sale? How would the actual profit or loss amount be calculated? Write down your findings. Okay, cool. Right, no problem. Refer to the asset register of JPEG Engineering as shown above. Okay, so there we have the asset register and we have the delivery vehicle, which they've been talking about. Okay, so they want us to just simply identify, did we make a profit or a loss on the sale of this asset? Okay, and you were saying, sorry, we made a loss. How are you establishing that we made a loss? How? The carrying values, why are you even comparing the carrying values to selling price? I don't understand. Please explain. So what I'm trying to get at, and without taking on her too much, what is the formula for identifying whether we made a profit or a loss on the disposal of an asset? I want us to start there.
So you just check how much you think depreciate.
Okay? No. Just give me the formula. And then we're going to obviously delve into that. Yes. Cost minus accumulated depreciation. So she was saying carrying value minus the selling price. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to just get to on an overview standpoint, just to get to the formula. I was saying if we want to determine whether we made a profit or a loss, we say to ourselves, what was the selling price that we sold this asset for? All right. Selling price. Okay, and this is just a recap. But these are things I don't want you to cram, things I want you to just understand. Minus the carrying value. Okay. All right, to determine whether we made a profit or a loss. Okay, cool. Now when we know this, now we need to say, okay, so this is now, the reason why I wanted us to just start here, oh my goodness, need to zoom in for you guys. The reason why I wanted us to just start here is so that when you understand this, then we can now start to delve into the details to say, okay, what was then the selling price that we disposed this asset for? All right, what did we sell it for? You guys tell me, what did we sell it for? The asset register tells us 108,800. Okay, cool. Right. And here they don't say it's exclusive of VAT or inclusive.
So I'm making 108,000.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Excellent. Cool. Then we are saying, okay, what was the carrying value? Do we have the carrying value? Where's the carrying value? These guys, they gave you everything. You didn't have to do the calculation. You didn't have to do, okay. So that is the carrying value. When I practiced this question, I actually didn't see that. I think I didn't read these bullet points, to be honest with you. Okay. So a lot of the times you will actually need to calculate that carrying value, okay? And we know that to calculate the carrying value, how do we calculate carrying value? Let me actually do it up top here with the other formulas. So we're saying to get the carrying value, we need to say cost of how much, when I say cost, I'm saying how much did we buy this asset for, all right, minus the accumulated depreciation. Okay, so in other words, we'll give you your CV, your carrying value. Okay, so in other words, if we wanted to calculate this, if they hadn't given it to us, we would have had to say the cost, which we know is 212,500 minus the accumulated depreciation of 105,000 is 103. Yeah, 103. 103, 700. You see, I don't wear my glasses now because of this mask story. And this is going to then obviously give you the 108, 800. Okay, right. At this stage, right, they could have just given you the cost price and the dates on which this asset was bought. And you guys should have been able to then calculate the depreciation that took place on this asset, the accumulated depreciation that took place on this asset year by year, and then obviously then calculate the carrying value, and then also then determine what is then, whether we made a profit or a loss. Okay, so here, as she was saying, we obviously made a loss because our carrying value is greater than the selling price. Okay, so that was a loss of 800. We can actually just do that in our mind, start getting a calculator. Okay, so that was 3.4. That was 3.4. Now, I want us to move on to 3.5. How much time do we have? Oh, we're good on time. Okay, any questions on this exercise before we move on? Everybody happy? Okay, awesome stuff. So now 3.5, the reason why I want us to do 3.5 is really just, again, to get comfortable with our depreciation calculations. So let's go there to 3.5. And you guys are going to help me figure these things out. Yes. Who's calling who? Yes. On the previous question, huh? Okay, so let's go there. So you asked, how did we get the 2,1 to 500? So if we look at the actual question there, at the asset register table, you'll see there they say date purchased from and then cost. So that's where we got the 212,500. No problem. Okay. Right. Cool. So here, what was required of us was pretty simple. They gave us two asset registers for two different assets. Okay. So on the first one, for Velakazi Creations, we have what? Equipment. Okay. And now this time they're taking it a step further. They're saying we should calculate the depreciation and accumulated depreciation. So somebody tell me, how do we get A? Okay, and here, guys, honestly speaking, the best thing you can do for yourself, at least for the first period, is to draw your timeline. Okay, so let's do this in blue this time. So when was the asset bought? 1st of March. So 1. That's the 3rd month, right? 1st of March 2000 and what? 5. And then we're doing this for 31 August. So 31, 8. And yes, this is for 2005. So this is how many months? 6. Are you sure? Okay, so we have March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months. Okay. Happiness Day. Okay. So now that we have that, we know that every other year is a full year, right? If you look there, you can see it's 31, 31, 31 August. So there's no apportionment that we need to do. All right, so now we can go back. We can calculate A. How do we calculate A? $33,600. 6/12 times, said 10/100. Is depreciation 10%? Okay, yeah, that's cool. All right. And then what do we get? 1,680. Okay. All right, cool. So we have that there. Now what must happen? How do we calculate B? Hmm? We already have it. How do we already have it? It's the same amount. But how? It's the first year, yes. We don't have any other depreciation. So then we can copy and paste that amount, 100%. Thank you, guys. Okay. So we have B, then C. Oops. What must you do to calculate C? Minus 1,680. Why are we doing this? Exactly. Remember, we're on the diminishing balance method. So before we can apply our depreciation rate, we have to deduct last year's depreciation. All right, we need to diminish the value of this thing. Okay, so what do we get after that? Okay, you want to ask something? We are going to do that. We just wanted to first remove the depreciation from last year. So we're getting that 31,000. How much? How much? 920. Okay, thank you. And then we're saying times the 10%. Okay, I'm just going to say 0.10. Okay, which is what you get when you 10 divided by 100. Okay, we're just doing question 3.5 in your textbooks. Actually, just started that. Right. So then, what do we get? 92. Okay, then for D, can we just copy and paste? What must happen? We have to add those two. Okay, so 31, 92 plus. Oh, actually, let me start with what we had in the first year. The first year, or the first period, we had 1,680, and then we're saying plus 3,100 and what is that then giving us? 4,872. 72. Awesome stuff. Okay, then we move on to E. How do we calculate E? Okay, so you can say 33,600 minus the 4,872, which gives us 28,728. Awesome stuff. So we have that. Are we done? What do we need to do? Times 10%. And then we are on F. Are we on F? No, we're on E. We're on E. Okay, 0.8. Cool. And then F, we're adding up the 4,872. All right. Last year's accumulated depreciation plus the depreciation we had this year, which is this 2,872.80. Okay, which gives us what? 744. 80 cents. Okay. Awesome stuff. Then we go to G. Our last calculation for depreciation, we're saying this 33, the cost to us, 1,600 minus the accumulated depreciation we've had thus far. Okay, 80, which gives us what? What's our carrying value there? 855. Okay, 0.20 cents. Okay, then times 10%. And what do we get? 2,585.52. Awesome stuff. Okay, then H is obviously, oops, just adding all the depreciation that we've had thus far, and then plus the 2,585.52, which then gives us 10,030.32. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so we still have some time, so that's cool. All right, but this one was a whole lot more easier, right? The second asset register, right? Because it was just on cost. Okay, so now you guys can see what I was saying, and that reducing balance method just gives you that extra step. All right, just that extra step where you have to calculate the carrying value before you can actually calculate the depreciation for that period or that year. Okay, so here, what was I? $12,600. No, you can actually just give me the depreciation. We all know how to calculate this, right? Okay, good point. Okay, so let's okay, we're agreeing it's 9 months. All on the same page. Okay. So 12,600 times 9/12, and then times the depreciation rate, which we know is 16% and 2/3. So 0.16 and 2/3. What is that going to give you? How many sixes? Let's make it 2 and then 1, 2, 3. Okay. Right. Again, when you round it off, you should arrive at the same amount. Okay. And what do you get? 575. Okay. Right. Cool. Then for J, we know it's the same thing, right? Because that's the first period, first year. Okay, then we go on to the next one. This time, what is our depreciation going to be? This time is for the full year, right? So 12,600 times 0.166666, which gives us what? 2,100. Okay, awesome. Right, then N, we're just adding the 2,100 plus the, plus the 1,575. And what does that give us? No, sorry, K. Yeah, N. I'm right. Did we skipped one, huh? My I is mixed up. So I, J is fine. So this is supposed to be L. L is what we skipped. Okay, so let me just do this. Let's just make that L, okay? And then, so what's the total that we get there? 675. Okay. And this is gonna be M. All right, and this is gonna be N. Okay, and then this is gonna be O and P. Okay, so what is M? M is gonna be the same as K, right? Are we together? Since it's on the straight line method. Okay, and we know that N, is this N? O, sorry. O is going to be the same as well. Okay, so what then is, with N, we're going to say 2,100 plus the 3,675. And that gives us, and 75. Then P, we're saying 5,775 plus another 2,100. Okay, and that should give you what, 7,875, if I'm not mistaken. Right, so we've done all those calculations, happiness over there. We've dealt with I and II. Then we can go to the third and fourth bit. Oh, no, actually. The second bit, they're saying calculate whether you made a profit or a loss on the switchboard. Did we make a profit or a loss? Profit. How do we know that we made a profit? Okay. So what was the selling price over there? Okay, 22,500. Okay, so maybe just for the benefit of those, remember we're saying to calculate whether we made a profit or a loss, we're saying selling price, SP, minus the carrying value on the asset. Okay, if the carrying value is greater than the selling price, we know that we have made a loss. If the carrying value is less than the selling price, all right, in other words, the value of this asset, right, is less than what we actually sold it for, then we've made a profit. Okay, right, here you would get your profit or loss. Okay, that's the formula there. So we said that the selling price was 22,500, and we're deducting that from the carrying value. Okay, so we know that the cost that we bought this asset for was 33,600. Okay, I want us to calculate this bit because it's very important. We're saying the cost minus the accumulated depreciation up until that point will then give us the carrying value. So what was the accumulated depreciation on that switchboard? 850. 330.30. Are we together? 32. Okay, awesome. Okay, and remember, this is the accumulated depreciation. So we already calculated this somewhere. Oh, there we go, right there. Okay. And when we then subtract those, when we do the maths over there, what do we get? You said a profit, right? It's actually a loss. It's actually a loss. A loss of how much? 769.68. Okay, yeah, that looks right. Cool. So then we have to do the same thing, but now just for that other asset. I'm gonna copy that formula there. Paste it right there. What was the selling price for the second asset? 5,000. And what was the carrying value? Okay. So again, I just want us to break it down to say, okay, the cost was 12,600. And then minus, what was the accumulated depreciation? 7,875. Okay, which then gives us balance of, or what's the total we then get? 275. Just 275.
No, which is already calculating the loss.
So you guys, do we have the right answer?
She's already calculating the loss. So the answer for that is going to give you.
Okay. What are we?
After this 4,725.
4,725.
Then you minus the 5,000.
Okay. So the final answer is 275. Okay. We made a profit. I just thought that the answer that I got was bigger than that. Okay. Right. So there we made a profit. Everybody happy? We're all good? Okay, cool. Then, last bit there, and I'll give you guys a break now. Were the sales of the switchboard and the couch done for cash or on invoice? Were these sales done for cash or were they done on invoice? In other words, were they done on credit? Sorry, on credit or for cash? Really? How do we know? It says what? What does it say? It says credit invoice. So this was free marks, ne? 100% right. So here, both these assets were done on credit. Okay. All right. Happiness there. Okay. So again, that was just another exercise to get you guys comfortable.